I want to talk to you today about dealing with prickly porcupines. People are naturally defensive, and one of the most common complaints that I get with people in my difficult classes is that the people that they deal with are defensive. No matter what they do, they are reacting and feeling attacked and just difficult to deal with. So porcupines are actually rodents, and they have their prickly quills. And when they feel attacked, they actually stick their quills out, which makes them look bigger. And then if they feel more fearful still after that, if the attacker or the animal or person doesn't back up, then the porcupine himself will back up into the person, lift the tail, and then whack the person with the tail, which is where the quills can get stuck in the animal's or the person's skin. So porcupines are, as you know, you have this image, I'm sure, of a porcupine like I do, where you want to avoid getting next to a porcupine and getting the porcupine rattled and upset to where the porcupine will attack you. So people are the same way. No matter what we do with them, a defensive person is going to get defensive, a defensive person is going to feel attacked, and you can't control that part. And I'm not asking you to try to control that part. I'm just telling you, I'm going to give you some tips on how to deal with those prickly people that are acting like porcupines, to where you might maybe make it more effective interacting with them, and most importantly, not get rattled yourself. Because if you get rattled, then you're going to get prickly and you're going to get defensive and you're going to attack. And then it's going to go crazy, right? And then that's where it escalates and big problems. And then you walk away thinking, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And I don't want you to walk away thinking that. I want you to walk away feeling like, wow, that person is prickly. And I did everything I could to not make the situation worse. So first of all, even though it seems like you do something to make that porcupine just fatten up and stick those quills out or back up and want to smack you with the tail, you probably didn't. They will react over anything. If you were careful with how you said it, if you had a right to say what you needed to say, it was your truth, you needed to say something, then you're not responsible for how the person reacts. You're not responsible for getting that person defensive, or if that person says to you, oh, you're naggy, all you do is nag, you always pick fault, you're negative, you never find anything good, you're always complaining, it's always got to be your way. It's like, if you've heard those things a million times, you know that is that person's defensiveness, kind of trying to ward you off to keep you from saying the things you have to say, or more importantly, keep the person from having to respond to them. Whatever it is you're saying, the person does not want to deal with. And so the person is going to get prickly to kind of scare you away and hope you back off, just like the porcupine who puffs himself out and says, I'm hoping that this animal will go away and leave me alone because they're scared, and then I don't have to deal with the animal. I don't have to do anything else. Next one is, remember, the porcupine's quills are not going to hurt you because they're not going to literally be thrown through the air. The porcupine's got to get close enough to you to whack you with his tail in order to hurt you. So if your porcupine is in that puffed out position and starting to put that tail up, that's not a good time to talk about a serious matter, or to bring up a complaint, or to have a conversation in which you're going to say something that you know your porcupine is going to react to. It's better to just look at them and go, oh, you're already rattled. Not a good time. I'm just going to go about my way. Keep doing what I was doing. Have a good day. I'm not going to get into a confrontation with you because it's not worth it. Absolutely not worth you having yourself thrown off of your plans, your schedule. You're having a good day. Why wreck it, right? It's not going to do any good anyway. If you approach somebody when they're already up like this and they've got their quills sticking out, there's nothing good that's going to come out of any interaction with that person. Next one is to learn what makes your porcupine feel threatened. Now, this does not mean you're taking responsibility for causing your porcupine to be threatened, because you're not. It is that person's responsibility how he or she takes threats or responds to things that are said, or reacts or gets offended. not your problem, okay? But when you know there's certain things that get to your porcupine, if you don't need to do and say those things without losing yourself, without not being able to speak your truth, then don't. I mean, why? Why would you want to? Why would you want to go up to this person who you know is going to get rattled, who is going to puff out and get defensive? Seriously, I'm not perfect. I know you're not perfect. We all do the best we can. I did that the other day. I said something to my husband. I noticed it. I thought about it. And I thought, that's annoying. I don't like that. And he was just sitting there, and I just came off and I said, why? Da, 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 da. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it was just something that has been like an old thing that he's done for a long time. And I was just like, why do you do that? And I knew what his reaction was going to be. It was going to be, I don't do that. This is your problem. You're being sensitive, whatever. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. And before I said it, I was like, I don't need to say this. And then I said it anyway. Not smart, right? Don't do that. I usually don't. I usually think this isn't worth it. Nothing good's going to come from this. And then that sort of made him look at me like, oh, you're just being a normal nag, and you're bringing up being sensitive, that kind of thing. It's like, I literally couldn't even be irritated at him because I walked right into it, and I knew it before I said it. I just made that decision to do it stupidly. So don't do that, right? I know most of the things I teach you, I've done the wrong way, and I've learned to do the right way. And most of the time I do them, but not always. So I'm trying to learn from your mistakes like I did. Now, you want to strengthen yourself so the porcupine can't manipulate you through getting puffed up, through putting the tail up. In other words, not threaten you, not manipulate you, not get you to lose yourself, to back down from your truth, because I'm not telling you to not say your truth. I'm telling you to think about what you have to say and how you say it and when you say it and if you need to say it. All of those are important questions, but I don't want you to be manipulated and controlled by the porcupine at all. Pay attention to the way the porcupine attacks you that gets you to back down and gets you to do things that are not good for you. Next one, when you can, listen to your porcupine. Listen to what the porcupine has to say. Now, not if it's abuse, not if it's attacking you, not if it's, harmful to you. But if the porcupine is upset about something, try to have an open mind and listen and hear what the porcupine has to say from the porcupine's point of view, because if you're not a porcupine, you don't know what it feels like to be a porcupine. So try to listen, try to learn something about your porcupine, be compassionate, try to be understanding, and maybe you will learn something about what makes the porcupine upset and act different ways, and it'll be helpful to your relationship. Most importantly, you want to avoid reacting to the porcupine and putting yourself on the same level of the porcupine, because if the porcupine's got his back out and his tail raised and ready to smack, and you put your quills out and you lift your tail ready to smack, it is going to turn into an ugly confrontation. And if you're like me, when you walk away, you're going to think, I shouldn't have done that. If I wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't have gotten to that point, and you're going to feel bad. And I don't want you to feel bad. So if you use these tips, it will help you deal with your prickly porcupines. You may not want them to be porcupines. I'm sure you don't want them to be porcupines, but there's nothing you can do to not make them be porcupines. Person has to make their own choices. So your relationship with these people will be smoother. So the scripture or two scriptures that I wrote on this one were Proverbs 23 NIV. It is to a man's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel. So it is to our honor to do these things to avoid more strife in our relationships. And Proverbs 14:29 in the NIV says, a patient man has great understanding, but quick-tempered man displays folly. Folly is sin and foolishness. So we can make a choice to not be on the same level as the prickly porcupine and not get smacked with a tail and have quills left in our skin, which is really uncomfortable. So thank you for watching this video on Change My Relationship. Thank you.